So what's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hit the like button on your way in, please. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I was just thinking, right? And I wanted to share my thoughts. You guys can tell me what you think in the live chat or in the comments. But I was thinking at Bible study this Wednesday, the Darwin theory was mentioned. And I just wanted to kind of like recollect my memory on it. So this morning I got up, I was thinking about Bible study for a lot of different reasons, but this morning I got up and so I started, just kind of like recollecting my memory, going on Google, looking through some chapters in a couple of books I own and thinking about the Darwin theory. And it led me to thinking about Sophia Stewart. You know how your mind just kind of goes down that rabbit hole of things that you already have like as little pockets and reference points. Well, Sophia Stewart and the Darwin theory are like two little like pocket and reference points that I go back to a lot because I think that it plays a huge part in civilization and socialism. But I'm gonna tell you how I got to thinking about Sophia Stewart and the Matrix, and then I got to thinking about interracial dating. So I'm sitting up here and I'm thinking about the Darwin theory, and I'm thinking about one of the key points of the Darwin theory was the natural selection. Is how we would naturally choose each other, by social hierarchy, weighing things out, genetics, and all of those things, evolution. All of those things will play a part in the natural selection and what it will all become eventually, how everything will eventually marinate towards each other to where it's just the natural selection, kind of like the process of elimination over a period of time to where you just get to the natural selection of choosing, not choosing, et cetera, et cetera. And then I got to thinking about Sophia Stewart, like I stated. And Sophia Stewart with the Matrix talks about being involved more in a reality that was created for her. And let's talk about reality. Reality is created. I don't think people look at it for as simple as that. Your reality is your creation of what you choose for your reality to be. So reality is created, whether it's created by you, whether it was created by Charles Darwin, whether it was created by Sophia Stewart, whether it was created by a woman's sphere, whatever reality you choose to live in, it was already created. It's just whether you choose to accept and adhere to said reality. But your reality will always be what you make it. It's just that simple because reality is a creation. And it just kind of boggles my mind how many people don't view reality in that way. I think when people talk about reality, they're always festering on, well, that's just reality. No, that's just the reality you created because reality is a creation. Hit the like button, y'all, on the way in. Hit the like. So Charles Darwin, let's get back to the point. Charles Darwin created a reality. He created a reality. He created an idea of what he thought and felt it would become. That's what he did. It's as simple as that. I know a lot of this is why when it pertains to Black people, going back on the reference points of white people, we need to kind of remove the idolizing of it. You know what I mean? Like remove the idolizing of it. Just like you have a brain and you can come up with thoughts and ideas and such in your own brain, it's no different than them. It's no different. So we got to remove idolizing everybody else's theories. We can talk about it, but you got to remove the idolizing part and making it be fact. That's where we go wrong at. We go wrong as Black people by making the reality of somebody else our fact. Just because their reality and their concept was respected more, it doesn't make it a fact. I can read 1,000 books of science and biology and not look at it as a fact. I don't idolize white people's words because they lie a lot. So I think as Black people, that's the first thing we need to do is stop idolizing white people, their theories, their processes, and all of that. There's room to be dissected and picked apart. Because the fact of the matter is, Charles Darwin created a reality to where he can sit at the top of the social hierarchy and look down at everybody else. So he created a whole social experiment based off of his own thoughts, what he believed for it to be. So that thought process that he had, which put white people in the clear for a lot of different things. But the natural selection is now happening right before our very eyes. And I don't think it's happening the way that people think it was going to happen. The natural selection is this. Because in the Charles Darwin theory, he talks about everybody coming to basically a natural selection process. But because the theory of race, also created by Charles Darwin, was such a daunting reality that he created a very daunting reality for people to live beneath. So the theory of race itself and how it plays out is just like this. When you're born white, you can be born today. You will automatically be connected to the wrongs of your ancestors. Any privileges that you have as a white person due to the violence and the diabolical nature of your ancestors will automatically be side-eyed by those that are on the lesser, which is Blacks and minority groups. So Charles Darwin created that reality for us all to live in. So even if you're born today as a white person and you don't adhere to any of those things, but you still receive the entitlement, you still receive the passing socially, you still receive all of the benefits because he made this his reality. Do y'all see what I'm saying about reality being created? Reality being created. And if you got the gumption and an unmitigated gall to dream big enough, you also can create your own reality that people will live beneath. Because in the world, 85% of people are sheep. They will follow. They are looking for a leader. And 10% of people are leaders. They aren't visionaries. They are leaders. They see a need for something and they see that it's easy to get you to follow, which is what Charles did. Ultimately, that is what Charles did. Charles sat and had his own thoughts of what he viewed civilization to be and what it should arrive at as. And because 85% of the world is sheep, and because he was a leader, he was able to get people to follow. He created a reality that he wanted to live in. He's dead and gone now, and now we're all still living in that reality in a whole different time frame. It's a whole different time frame. It ain't what it was when Charles Darwin was alive and well. It's different now. So now as a white person being born, they have to take on, good or bad, all of the consequences of what came before them because of what Charles Darwin did. And Black people are going to always be in the position that they are in unless they start realizing that realities are created. You get where I'm going with this? See, this is where Sophia Stewart came from. This is why Sophia Stewart talks about living in the matrix. The matrix and the civilization and the socialism was all created by Charles Darwin. We still live by that. We still live by Charles Darwin's message, methods, and ideas, and criterias for socialization and civilization. We still live by that. Whether we believe it or not, it is our society. It is the reality he created for all of us. And let's be very clear here. Nobody is comfortable really living in that reality. So, see, this is where Sophia Stewart comes in again. This is why it feels like you're in the matrix, because you're fighting against a reality that you did not choose. You didn't choose this reality. You didn't choose this thought process, but the world has it because it has been beat into your head as soon as you got here. Hit the like button on your way in. Hit the like button. It's been at school. It's been at work. It's been in your home. It's been everywhere. His theory. This man is dead and gone. And his theory is still alive and well. Just think about that. Just imagine somebody just sitting up saying, you know what? This is how I think reality should be. And you know what? You all, goddamn it, you're stupid enough. You're going to live it. And here we are centuries and centuries later, still living it. Here comes a black woman. We in the matrix. What is this? Here comes Sophia. What is this? My third eye is open. And guess what happens to Sophia Stewart for identifying the fact that we are living in a reality not created of our own? All of her ideas and images was stolen from her by the benefactors of the reality that was created. Two white boys. Two white boys. Two white boys said, oh, you know what, you black woman? You're right. You are absolutely right. But you know what? You don't get to be this profound without paying your dues, little black woman. Little black woman, pay your dues. But when you think about interracial dating, to add into all of this, like I said, this is my morning ramble. The reason why interracial dating is so cringeworthy right now is because everybody is trying to escape their reality. And since race is a huge part of our realities, if not the focal point of our realities, because it's race, then socialism, then civilization, then starts at race. Starts at race. No, you know what? It's race, then it's gender, sexual identity, socializing, civilization, race, gender, sexual orientation, and then the list goes on. The list goes on. So when you think about interracial dating, who in their right mind wants to live consistently in a reality they did not create for themselves? They don't want it. They try and escape it. But no matter what you do, when you leave out that, even if you escape this reality and you declare and decree, this is not my reality. This is not my thought process. At the end of the day, when you go into the world operates beneath that reality. This is where all the social triggers come from. This is where you see so much interracial dating. People don't even realize they're trying to escape their reality. White people are sick of being white, and black people are sick of being black. And then add religion. Add religion. Add that as well. It's not about interracial dating right now. It's really about people trying to escape. There's post traumatic stress disorder created with the Charles Darwin theory that most people are living with. And they may not even view it as such, but that's definitely what it is. When you think about it in great detail, that's definitely what it is. You wouldn't allow an adult to walk up to you off the street and create a reality for you. You would not allow that. You would tell them where to go and how to get there. You wouldn't allow that. But the sad part is it was already created by you, for you, excuse me, for somebody that's dead and gone. And now there are all these other layers of people wanting to escape that reality, not realizing what they're doing. And it all kind of looks weird right now. Hit the like button on your way in. Hit the like button. It looks weird. It looks pressed. It looks desperate. It looks, we can get into the simplistic thought process of it, which is black men ain't this, and white men ain't that, and white women is this, and black women, that's a very simplistic way of thinking about it. Very simplistic. But when you think about it on a larger scale, there are so many people trying to escape their reality that was created because they did not choose it. And the disconnect that most people are feeling, not wanting to even be a part of the conversation, is because it is a repetitive conversation. It is literally the equivalency of those long late night arguments with a spouse or a boyfriend, or unresolved issues when you're sitting up for hours in the bedroom talking and talking and talking, and you got to go to work the next day, and you got to go to school the next day. It's the equivalency of that. Just tired. Sick and tired of being tired. You so tired of being tired, you don't even want to be affiliated with your race anymore. Because what comes with your race is a bunch of monolith lifestyles and viewpoints that you may not necessarily adhere to. So now that you don't adhere to the monolith lifestyle and viewpoints, now there's some sort of a struggle. But you're not the one that's struggling. You're not the one that's struggling. It's the Charles Darwin theory thinkers that are making it appear to seem as if you are struggling. Adhering to that monolith is literally driving people to mental health issues. When all you got to do is take a step back and remember reality is created. Nobody holds full court pressure over in reality. This is why you should never go on around saying that's just reality. You are literally speaking it over your own life. You can wake up tomorrow and create a new reality for yourself that you live in, and that is it, and that is all. Create your reality by way of people. Create your reality by way of places you go, situations, careers, everything. You create it. You create it. And the beautiful part is we live in a time where creation is being welcomed right now. Creation is being welcomed. Everybody is tired of sitting beneath race. Sitting beneath race has been troubling from the start, and we ain't never going to arrive at the finish. It has been troubling. It's not only troubling for us, it's troubling for white people as well. It's troubling for other minority groups as well. Sitting beneath given titles and labels is troubling because you don't get to create. You already have a set of stereotypes on you from the time you exit the womb. Part of the Charles Darwin theory was social hierarchy. It's already signed, set, and delivered when you exit the womb. Creation is being accepted right now. Creation of what you want your world and the people in it to look like is being accepted right now. It is being accepted. So it looks crazy right now. It does. Interracial dating to me looks crazy right now. It's almost like people are running and jumping over a fence right in front of your very eyes. Like people are crossing borders, jumping over fences, joining organizations, doing the most just to escape the reality that was created for them. Like it literally is like watching somebody running from a dog and jumping a fence because that's what everybody is doing. The sad part about that is you will see more tragedies due to the fact that people aren't acknowledging they are escaping the created reality that was given to them since birth. Because, like I said, a simplistic way of looking at it is to look at the people around you and to blame them and to say, this is the reason why I date outside of my race. That is problematic within itself. You should be dating because you're interested in someone. You should not be dating because the people within your race rub you the wrong way. But see, that's another part of your reality being created and you not having the choices to make to create your own. Hit the like button on your way in, everyone. Hit the like. Everybody is tired. I can see it on people's faces day after day after day. People are tired. They are tired. They are tired of the monolith. They are tired of the projections. They are tired of walking outside into the matrix every single day. They are tired. You know, I was thinking about NPCs and all types of stuff this morning. For the people who aren't NPC, they are tired. You know, if your mind NPC is a person that does not have an inner monologue. If you have a inner monologue, that monolith level of thinking is consistently running through your brain day in and day out. So just the thought of stepping out into the matrix every day is tiring. So when you think about interracial dating and what we're seeing, that is the cringe that we're seeing. We're seeing desperation of escaping realities. And those of us that aren't NPC, that are actively in our inner monologue, watching all of this go down, we're just sitting here looking like, wow, it's rough. That is the cringe. That is the force that is behind all of this. The natural selection that was created. I don't think for a minute most of us would have even knew the difference of interracial dating if the Charles Darwin theory was not created. If the Charles Darwin theory was not created and promoted and sold to the highest bidder in most colleges' syllabus and curriculum as facts. A little white man that wanted to be on top of the social hierarchy is now the reason why your life is lived the way that it is socially. And we all know race enters so many different other layers of your life. So it's like if you add NPC into this, then it takes it down a whole nother rabbit hole. But for most of us who do have an inner monologue, all of these thoughts are consistently running through your brain when you have to socialize, when you have to interact, when you have to, and you have to be strategic. You have to be execution style with the quick decision making in all social environments. Because if you have an inner monologue, all of these things are I know for me, I'm consistently thinking on all different dimensions, all over the place. While you're talking, I'm having a whole conversation with myself about exactly what you're saying. I said this in a video before. My intuition talks to me daily and my discernment. So while you're talking to me, I'm talking to myself about what you're talking about. I'm really translating what you're saying to me in my own mind because everything you say to me goes through a translation process. And I know exactly what it is that you said. I don't care what comes out of your mouth. I know how to read the fine print. NPCs don't do that because they don't have an inner monologue. So while someone is talking to you, there should be your discernment and your intuition, which is God, talking to you, telling you exactly what this person is saying. It's the reason why it makes me laugh every time someone tells me that is not what I meant. No, that's exactly what you meant. Oh, you're crazy. No, you're crazy for thinking I'm crazy. That's exactly what you meant. And like I was saying last night in that race video, I ran my race already, so you don't get to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Maybe if I was a little younger, I would give a little bit more leeway, but not at this big old Jurassic Park age. Hey, Fatima. Hey, I am whole. Hey, sister. Hello. I'm serious, K Breezy. Way too old. Way too old. That's why I was talking to y'all about the race last night. You got to get to a place to where you stop second guessing yourself. You got to get to a place where that baton ain't going in a circular motion. It need to be going back. You got to get to a place, like I said, them weapons will form, but quit allowing them to prosper. They gonna come. But see, allowing them to prosper can be the idea of life or death at a certain age. You know, there's only a certain handful of people I have. I'm gonna say this. There's only a certain handful of people I have 100% understanding for. My children, my grandkids, my family. The older you get, the more you put importance on what you know is what you know. You know, I saw something that said, a lady was saying it ain't you, it's my requirements. And that is a very profound statement. Once you cross the race, it ain't people. It ain't people. It's your requirements. It's the fact I'm on the second leg. It's it's the fact I've lived enough life. So it ain't you. But I have a certain level of standards that I have to adhere to in order to feel okay with myself. I can't make those same decisions I made back then and dust myself off and keep going. Nah, some stuff, some decisions and some mistakes just don't even need to be made. They don't. They don't need to be made. They need to be cut off at the head because of your requirements, because of them. It's not personal, but it is at the same time because it's more personal for you to be okay with yourself. So once that race is ran, once you finally decide the race has been ran, the mistakes have been made, the second guessing has happened. Now it's time to no more room for that. No more room for that. All the mistakes I'm gonna make in the risk factor department where it does not bring value because you as a person don't bring much value to my life. The value that's given to me is by God. So I can do with or without you. And like I said, once again, it ain't you, it's the requirements. It's where I'm at in life. It's the race that's been ran. You know, I've shed enough tears. I've lost some blood. I fought the good fight, but now I'm here. Now I'm here. Hit the like button on your way in, everyone. Hit the like. I'm here at a place where I can come and talk to you about reality and creating it and how reality is a creation and how you have every damn right to create your own reality. And it sounds very simple, but you have every right to create your own reality. You know, if you think everybody else around you is average at best, you may be participating in average activities because that does not have to be your reality. If you know people who are profound, insightful, impactful, those are the people you need to be around if that's your energy. If everybody else is bleeding and learning and sucking from you as the insightful one, the inspiring one, the motivating one, the impactful one, everything needs to be reciprocal. Once again, like I said, risks that don't need to be taken. Why risk running your well dry? Because you are around the less inspired, the less impactful, the less profound. Mm-mm. Create your own reality. It is people that get up every day with a word, just like me, that take to their social media accounts to pour life into other people. And then it's people that just lay there without a thought in the world for nobody else. You feel what I'm saying? It's you can go on the internet literally, go on your scroll, go down your scroll and see a list of people that woke up and chose to motivate, give a word. You can see it down your scroll. When I go down my scroll every morning, it's a list of people. It's a list. If you are not of that, if your list is going to tell you. You create your own reality. You create it. If your thought process is to become a millionaire, then maybe you need to start following and being around millionaires. You create it. Good morning, Tati. And that's right, K Breezy. You can't. And I'm going to tell you why you can't. Hit the like button on your way in. I'm going to tell you why you can't. It isn't that you think you better than nobody. Like I said earlier, it's not you. It's my requirements. And I don't care what it takes for you to start adhering to your requirements. I don't give a damn if you wake up and cut everybody off. Pray about it because it's never personal. It's always about your journey and where you're going. And if you see that you got a lot of insignificant people in your life, they don't add anything. Anything. It ain't you, it's my requirements. You got to get to that place. That's why I'm saying, K Breezy, you're right. When you hit a certain age, right? And you find yourself going through shit with people that you went through in your 20s, it ain't a good feeling. It's not a good feeling because you should have graduated from that. That's why I was saying last night about the race. You ain't graduated enough to pass the baton because you still in the race, and everybody that's still in the race that should be there per their age and everything like that, it's all a competition. It's not a graduation. And if you did make it there, you made it there just to receive a participation reward. There's still so many areas of you that's not operating in that place. So many things that need to be worked on. So many things that need to be addressed before you can get to a place where you really start calling it like it is. Hey, it ain't you. It's just my requirements. I can't do this. Slowly starting to remove yourself away from things that don't. Hit the like button on your way and hit the like. You know, it all ties in because living in the matrix is living in a reality that you did not create for yourself. So when you think about the race and getting there at the race, and that's a reality. Now is the time to turn it up. You know, I've heard a lot of women say that when they got in their 40s and their 50s is when they really started to live. And I share that same excitement because I have not been as hyper vigilant about every decision I make with every person that's in my life as much as I have right now. I think about everything non-stop in detail. I don't miss nothing. Not nothing at all. Hypervigilant. Once again, it ain't you, it's my requirements. It's not. Hey, trumpets. Good morning. When I heard that saying, I said, you know what? That's right on point. It ain't you, it's my requirements. That's a very respectful way of saying it, because one of the things about having these type of conversations is they can seem real personal, right? They can seem very, very personal. But the fact of the matter is, if you are of mature mind and sound, some things just don't cut it no more. Some interactions just don't cut it no more. And it's a bittersweet road, because you don't want to be the person that's engaging to just not engage anymore. You know, you're engaging for a little while and then you like, oh, yeah, no. But I would imagine that the next step, going from, finally crossing the race, realizing that you no longer can engage, you no longer can engage. Engaging means you can risk losing your life, or risking your mental health, or risking your peace, risking your tranquility. That's what engaging can mean. That's what engaging can mean, right? So now you arrived at the place to where you realize that engaging, even though you see you don't need to anymore, now you are at that place where you must make a decision. And I can imagine that once you get comfortable with those decisions, being a woman that has crossed the race, once you get comfortable with those decisions, then you'll move on to being very peaceful with it all the way around. It won't feel as conflicting. Yeah, Capris, it is. That is a more direct way of saying, it's you. It's not you, it's me. It is. But I know from my own experience, I think that that is really big on where a lot of women struggle. A lot of women struggle with the ins and outs of befriending, and the ins and outs of relationships, especially once they've gotten into them, any type of relationship, platonic or romantic. Once you get into them and you start to see things that's like, woo, gotta go. A lot of times the idea of doing that makes you feel like, am I overreacting? Am I tripping? Maybe it's me. No, it's not you. It's not you. I'm here to tell you it is not you. You have crossed the race. That's what it is. You crossed the race and you now see things immediately for what they are. It ain't you, it's my requirements. It ain't you, it's my requirements. Because I'm telling you, the when you make certain decisions, the older you get and you find yourself in little silly situations, you feel foolish. And you should, because you should have ended it and deaded it right out the gate. Respectfully. You ain't got to have no ill will. You ain't got to have no bad feelings. It's just if stuff ain't adding up to you, I'm out. You've crossed the race. And all that's going to do is make room for bigger and better opportunities to present and show up in your life. And if you are on your wavelength of becoming your own reality, you want to, at some point in your life, to see that play out. At some point in your life, you want to see your own reality play out. At some point. I understand that first part of the race. I get it. And I really do think that the 40s and the 50s is when a lot of men and women start crossing that race. You know, I did it from a woman's perspective yesterday, but I believe this is a humanity thing. You know, I think that once we get to our 40s and our 50s, we done lived a lot of life. We done bumped our elbows, our knees, our shin. We done lived life. We done been optimistic. We done did all of that. Now is the time to take what you learned and apply it. And I think that hits most human beings in your 40s and 50s. That's when you start to see people, if they are worth their salt, they going to start the process of elimination. They are going to start that process. They are going to start to eyeing everything and looking at everything and saying, nope, 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 no, that's silly. Not getting involved in that. Because I'm going to say your mid 30s to your late 30s is when you really start paying attention. But once you get to like your 40s and 50s, you done been about 10, 15 years into seeing things like, man, you know what? Mm, something about that. Something about that. You know, you about 35, you know, you ran through your 20s, you done, oh my God, made all the worst decisions in your 20s sometimes. Ran through your 20s, you at 35, 32, 33, and you starting to see becoming 40 in sight. So you're looking at age. You're looking for your life to align with what you've learned. And see, people, I'm not talking about what you have. I'm talking about the decisions you make, the way you lay it out. Because at some age, you start to look at your decisions as being an indicator of the fact that you learned something. You picked up something along the way. This is why I kept saying the race is over. The race to finding and gathering all these nuggets of wisdom and learning for yourself outside of your elders saying to you, da, 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 da. But gaining all these nuggets and these jewels along the way. Now you got all these nuggets and jewels in your back pockets, in your front pockets, in your purse, in your book bag, and you ain't using them. So basically, you just gather all these nuts and jewels and all of this stuff just for it to weigh you down when it was really supposed to propel you into your other end where you just sail. You no longer running anymore. You are no longer grasping at straws anymore. You are no longer wishing for what you know ain't to come. It may be. See, when you young, you got that energy of maybe, maybe. See, this is why we don't listen to our elders, because that maybe with that useful, naive energy is, well, maybe. Maybe. Maybe it can happen because just because it ain't go that way for you, grandma, mom, auntie, uncle, brother, sister, cat, dog, you don't want to listen to nobody because it's that maybe. Maybe you in your 40s with maybes, you in your 50s with maybes. There's no room for that level of optimism once you done ran the race. The race gave you all the maybes you were gonna get. It ain't no more maybes. It ain't no more maybes. Now is when you show up. You ain't wearing no skirt no more. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't wearing no skirt with the shorts on the bottom because you don't want to show your ass. No, because you ain't tripping enough to go and show your ass. You get what I'm saying? You don't need no skirt because you ain't tripping, you ain't falling, and you can get up. So you gonna have your skirt on. Ain't nobody about to trip and you ain't about to trip and show nobody your ass. You ain't tripping and showing nobody your ass, so you can wear your skirt with your heels on and walk like you got some sense. Cause even when the bullshit come, it ain't got nothing to do with you. I know the devil when I see it. I know how to bind it out, rebuke it, and walk right on around it. Thank you. No need for the skirt. You done ran the race already. Mm-mm. No need for none of that. It is a time when you got to take all of what you learned. And like I was saying last night, it exhibits itself in your life and in your friendships. Because see, when all that maybe energy was there, once you get a certain age, your support system is looking at you like, what? Huh? Because see, they don't even got the patience no more. See, your support system exhibits where you should be in that race. That's what you create your own reality. You create your own reality. You create it. Hit the like button on your way in. You create it. So at some point, whereas though you was receiving all that support in your maybe phase, everybody looking at you now like you just a fool. You just a fool. You don't get that support that you once got. You don't get that, I'm feeling sorry for you. You don't get, oh, baby, come here. You really don't get that. Unless you done had, see, at our big old age, unless you done had some type of situation where a spouse or something, any silly, goofy decision is looked at as a silly, goofy decision because you ran a race already. How's it that you don't? Oh, you mean to tell me, girl? And I can't, girl, I can't believe this. You see, she over there just, yeah, yeah. That's what it is, baby. That's what it is. It ain't no sympathy for the seasoned. It ain't much sympathy for the seasoned. It's always going to be the collective energy of you. Well, you should have knew better. You ran the race. You over that lane. It's going to be that, whether it is fair or unfair. That is what it is going to be. You won't get nothing but eye rolls. You should have knew damn better. Right or wrong, wrong or right. Right or wrong. See, this is why it is very impossible almost to have these conversations personally with friends. Because the truth of the matter is, you want to give sympathy to a friend, but at the same time, you don't want to condone bullshit. So it's this weird little murky space to be in. And it is a very difficult place to be in once you've ran the race. These older men chasing behind these younger women, and these younger women run circles around them. Oh, they be looking in the mirror too. TJ Hamilton, they be looking in the mirror too. Just like I can look at younger men and women, and I can see the younger women thinking they fine as wine, and it's just gonna be, women are always gonna have a better shake when it comes to relationships and aging than men do. Than men do. But I can look at these younger men and women, and I can see them thinking their beauty and them being handsome is going to carry them for a very long time, and it's not. And the most saddest sight to see is the men, because you always end up seeing men that were extremely good looking when they were younger age, they age, and all of those good women they ran through, nobody's there to take care of them. They end up in a nursing home. They end up in a nursing home because they just thought they end up in a nursing home. Facts. Women will typically have their children or their grandchildren, the people that they've invested a lot of emotional time with, a lot of mental health time with, a lot of spiritual time with, a lot of nurturing time with. Women will have that. Men typically won't. Peace, peace purveyor said, my friend unfriended me because I told her not to spend 20. But see, this is the thing, and this is another layer of male identification if you're looking for it, because male identification appears in so many different ways. One of the ways you will be able to see whether a woman values you as a friend is if she values what you have to say when you're talking to her about a man. If you're talking to her about a man and she does not value what you say, and she holds tight to it, or she eventually finds some way to get back at you and become egregious and disrespectful towards you, it's because she never value you to begin with. There's a lot of women who masquerade as sisterly, but they aren't. A lot of women feel the need to be above and over other women. They gotta be that head bitch in charge. They have to be. And when they're not, they act accordingly. And you see it play out every single time. every single time. And it's really it. I don't think women understand the significance of it. Like I said yesterday in that video, it's one of the things that I used to always tell one of my friends. I used to tell her this all the time, and she said she didn't start realizing what I was telling her until we got a little older. But I was telling her, I said the relationship amongst women and how they take care of each other in friendships is one of the primary reasons why men come in and try and ruin those if they don't have good intentions on that woman. Because women do a lot for each other in friendships. Women cater to each other. You know, there isn't all of that toxic masculinity involved. So women do a lot for each other in friendships. In friendships, they really take care of each other. So there's a lot, you know, if men are going to be competing with anything, they're going to be competing with your best friend. You know what, peace purveyor, this is funny to me because, okay, so this is what you do for a living, and you've been doing it clearly for some time if you're saying thousands of people, and she still didn't listen to you. That's crazy. I think it's a good time for Black women to start listening to their friends, especially with Black femicide happening right now, as much as it is. I think it's a very good time for Black women to start listening to their friends. I really, really do. I think it's a very beautiful time for that energy to shift and to change. There was a common thought process of, why I gotta listen to her. She can't tell me nothing. I remember when she was dealing with that dude and he did this and he did that to her, and how she gonna try and tell me something. You know, I see that women do that a lot to each other. They do a lot of that. That's why I was saying when the race comes, it's kind of difficult to relay the baton, and the reason why it's difficult to do that is because they are going to look at you, these younger girls that you're trying to tell them, hey, and this is if you're coming from a good place, because a lot of times women aren't coming from a good place, but there is those times where women, it could be, I've had women, y'all, as a younger woman, I've had, when I was younger, I would have older women that was in situations with men that they didn't look like they were going to leave any time soon. Tell me stuff like, baby, don't be like me. Don't get caught up with these fools. Go to school, get you an education, take care of yourself. Don't be like me. I've had women tell me that. But see, this is the thing about the collective. I am not the collective of Black women. I'm not. I'm very much so sovereign. So it was real easy for me to listen to women like that and to listen. Like I told y'all in the story before, when I used to walk back and forth to school when I was in middle school, it was a lady. She was like an addict or something. She used to be outside all the time, and she used to preach to us all the time. I was the only one that would stop and listen to her. Everybody would write her off like she crazy. She I be trying to talk to us. And that lady had a lot of knowledge. So there are some instances with women who have ran the race, and for whatever reason, due to life circumstances, like I said, this lady was on drugs, whatever it is that causes them, even though they've ran the race, to still be actively in the situation. It is some women out there that still don't want to see you be in the same situation as they are in. They will be very open and honest with you that the situation they are in, they wouldn't want from you. But see that for you, excuse me. But see, and I'm gonna speak about that from men and women. That takes a hell of a human being. That takes a good person to tell you, hey, listen, I know you see me in this situation, but this is not something I would want for you. But more than likely, what you get is older men telling younger men, man, they just gonna take your money. These women ain't nothing. They masculine. These women just want to run over you, man. Don't get caught up with these women. And then it's women, mind you, these are men and women who have ran the race. These older men telling these younger men, women ain't nothing, they masculine, don't settle down, go get it all out your system and all of that. And these same men that's telling them stuff like that is ran down, unhealthy. Most of them ain't got no woman. They look rough, they unkept, they not well taken care of. And they telling these young men all of that while they are young. And these young men are adopting the issues of the unwanted men in their sphere. These men that are giving you all of this negative advice about women are unwanted men. If you got women lined up outside your door with an opportunity to be with you if they could have it, then you don't have those problems. So you need to stop facilitating yourself as such as a man with those problems. Far too often, I see a lot of younger men complaining about issues about women that they don't even have. But it's because the influence of men to other men is way more profound than the influence of women with other women. Do you hear me? Women don't listen to each other. Women will literally see all the red flags. And when her friend says, hey, I don't think you should deal with that dude because he's da 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 da, they won't listen. But men listen to each other. They listen to each other. And unfortunately, that's a very bad circumstance because older, bitter men give horrible advice to young, handsome, attractive, highly sought out younger men. And then these younger men who don't have any of the issues of these unwanted, bitter, dried up, dick can't get hard men telling them what women ain't and what women is, speaking probably from a sexually frustrated place. And then these younger men walking around handsome, popping, got it going on. It's sitting up here talking about something. Yeah, these women ain't feminine enough. These women, who ain't been feminine with you? So see, it's different with men. With women, women don't listen to each other. They don't listen to each other. Thank you, Organic Black. Thank you. Women do not listen to one another. They just don't. They don't. And it is because most women are male identified. They will listen when it comes down to making those important decisions that can affect them living or dying. They will listen to a man before they listen to you. Sure is. Thank you, Little Bit. That's basically what I was trying to say in a nutshell. Little Bit says women can spit game to other women and it goes out one ear. Out goes out one ear, out the other. Men can say some untrue, toxic ish, and men and boys listen in droves. This is why I was saying there is a difference with men because men really do listen to each other, and it is really a sad sight to see because men say some of the dumbest untrue things and men literally eat it up. It can totally not be this man's life at all. It can totally not be this man's life. This man can be somewhere thriving, got women ready to jump off a bridge to be with him, and he will listen to some old crust, yuck mouth, barely any teeth in his mouth, man telling him women ain't this, women ain't that. This is why you can see, all you gotta do is go on the internet. You see some of these younger dudes that are attractive, good looking, nice bodies, complaining like they somewhere in a nursing home eating banana pudding, knowing damn well they can go in their phone and call any woman to spread it low and wide and break the damn bank for them. That is how invested Black women especially are in men. In men. So when I be watching some of these podcasts of these young dudes being so good looking in a prime of life, I be already knowing they got a laundry list of women. I already be knowing they do. But yet they chose to listen to the unwanted, unheard, ain't nobody paying that man no attention. The Uncle Ruckus of society that don't no woman want to lay down with. They have chosen to listen to him about a reality that is not theirs. Once again, you create your own reality. And the sad part about men is they be living a completely different reality, promoting and professing something else. Most of these older men giving these younger, attractive men advice ain't even had the opportunity to sleep with the type of women this young man is sleeping with. Man, I wouldn't do it, man. Sounding like slaves, can't properly articulate. Yeah, man. Man, these women, they all, man, don't waste your time, man. Go on out there and have your fun, Don't waste your time. Don't get these women your money, man. Yeah, she got another man in the house, make that nigga do it. These women, man, they all the same, man. They don't want to listen, these women, man, they just want to run. They just want you for your money, man. Meanwhile, his old raggedy tail is receiving a social security check. They just want you for your money, man. You don't want to get involved in that. These women, he collects a social security check once a month, young man. Don't listen to him. You making over 6 figures a year. We are not the same. Create your own reality. Create your own reality. And it's like the way I would talk to a man if I'm giving game to a man is completely different than how I would talk to a woman. Because different is different. For good looking, attractive Black men, don't listen to men that's uglier than you. Just don't. Just don't. Men operate differently. If a man is broke, if a man ain't got his own place, if a man ain't got his own car, stop listening to that man. Why is you listening to a man you got more than? Fortunately for you, as a man, if you are set up financially, you also have leverage when it comes to women because women want security. So why would you ever listen to somebody who has not accomplished what you have? When it comes to men, it is it's different when it comes to game. It's different. You know that saying of like how we were saying, pass the baton. Learn to get around it. Learn to get around it. Younger men need to learn to get around the men that sit on the porch, the porch monkeys that sit up complaining about women all day with their ass hanging out and shit. Don't even got a belt on their pants. Nah, that ain't who you need to be listening to. It's much different when it's men because y'all actually do listen to each other. But women, we don't. And women actually have more respectable information to pass to one another. You can actually learn a lot by hearing another woman's truth. You can. You can learn. I don't care if this woman has made mistakes. I don't care if she's listening to a woman's truth is different than men listening to another man's lies. See, the fact of the matter is men don't never really tell the truth. That's what makes it different when it comes to listening to them. They don't tell the truth. So basically what you're listening to is the bitterness of the choices that they've made. That's why all of that projection is put onto women. When really, I'm going to tell you what women are doing. Women more than likely aren't passing back bitterness. What women are doing, the fact is, a lot of women that should have ran the race, right? A lot of women that should have ran this race. And the fact of the matter is, they didn't. They just got a participation award for their age. Women don't like to be embarrassed. They don't like to be told they did some dumb shit with a man. That it was plenty of red flags and they just ignored them because they wanted this man in their life just that bad. Women don't want to be reminded that they're desperate. Women don't want to be reminded that they're lonely, they're desperate, and they're oppressed. Women don't want to be told that. Women don't want to be reminded that that is their reality. So when younger women, they should be passing a baton to, these younger women are like, I'm dealing with Tyrone, Auntie Bunquisha, and Tyrone is, I don't know, he seemed like he liked me, but he be dealing with other girls, or his family is this, or he got kids, and they telling you all these red flags. And you tell her, well, you know what, baby? This Auntie Bunquisha. Well, you know what, baby? You got to work with a man. You see me over here with Jethro. Jethro ain't have nothing when I met him, baby girl. Now look at him. He cut everybody grass in the neighborhood. He got his own lawnmower and everything. You got to believe in these men. You can't just sit up and expect them to have it all the way together. And then you young. You young, baby. Don't give up on that man just yet. I know Auntie Bunquisha, but he still be dealing with other girls and stuff. Well, he's young. You know what? Them young boys, they do that stuff. They get it out their system. Yeah, because, Auntie Bunquisha, I remember when Jethro last year was messing around with that lady. Yeah, you see what I'm saying, baby? And we made it right on through that. Don't give up on that man. He's a good man, Savannah. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's different on the side of women. Women just don't want to be reminded, you doing some dumb shit, sis. Hey, sis, all them red flags is right there. You doing some dumb shit. Women just don't want to be reminded of that. They know damn well what's going on. So women ain't gonna get to, most women, I'm gonna say, ain't gonna get to a place of just complete bitterness and just, no, women are going to encourage you to walk into some stuff that they know ain't right because they don't have courage to walk out. You get what I'm saying? Since they don't see, because telling you it ain't right and stay away from it is pointing out the fact that they know it ain't right for themselves as well, and they staying in it. So it's really just avoiding, once again, their own reality that they created. They created a miserable reality for themselves, and they don't want to acknowledge the fact that they created it, they allowed it, and they love it. So if they tell you to do better, then they need to tell themselves the same, right? So they're going to tell you, oh, baby, no, just, everybody make mistakes. I'm telling you, that's what it is. But see, with the men are bitter. The men are bitter. And the men are bitter because they done ran through 1,000 good women in their time. Good women. Because we all know what women do. When women get a man that they want, they ignore everything. They don't care what it is. They in love, damn it. They ignoring them bops upside the head. They ignoring all of that. They in love. That's the end of discussion. So women, when they move on, they very rarely have like regrets. They're more mad at themselves. Like I told you, women be mad at themselves and they don't like being embarrassed, which is why they stay in situations longer than they should, even though they know better. But they still will try and give it their best foot forward. That's why when women move on, they tend to be happier and thriving. When men move on, they typically did it for all the wrong reasons. They probably left her for another woman. They probably took her through hell, stumped all over her, ran up all her credit cards, stole money from her, owe her money, broke up her house, drove her car into the ground. So when they move on, they're bitter. They're bitter, they're miserable because they done did all of this dramatic, unneeded, unnecessary, volatile behavior towards somebody that just loved them. Love them. All that woman did was love you. You cheated on her. You beat on her. You stole from her. You drove her car into the ground. You left her with babies. All she did was love you. Was love you. Was love you. So of course there's some what men are festering in is guilt. They are rolling in a sea of guilt. I forgot what song that was by JC, but he said, I got to live with the fact I did you wrong forever. Because just imagine, all a man doing is loving you and you doing the most to him. You sleeping with his friends. You asleep with his daddy. You dragging you emptying his bank account. You just doing the most, just for absolutely no reason. He ain't even did nothing wrong. You're just sitting up there doing the most. Ebony, right? That's what I'm saying. He got his own lawnmower now, baby. And when I get my income tax, I'm going to help him get him, one of them ones that you drive around in. It's easier for him, on his back and everything. We don't want him to put his back out hunched over that lawnmower in that yard. But, to support him when I get my taxes, I'm going to get him one of them ones he can drive around in. So it's definitely different on both sides when it comes to that race and getting to that race and the baton and how the information is flowing and how you create you realize your reality and you realize the fact that you're creating a reality that is not yours, that you being strong arm into. And when you cross that race, then that's when you realize, hey, I have choices to make within this reality. I don't have to live that reality. And it actually, to be quite frank, now it kind of scares me to make any decision that's even similar to forcing me to live in that reality. Once again, it ain't you, it's my requirements. It's my requirements. Hit the like button on your way in, everyone. Hit the like. But see, when it comes to the women, it's just a lack of accountability. That's it. It's a lack of accountability for women. Women, go into relationships looking to be in love, looking to do the right thing, but they ignore so many things, looking, you can't make something right that's wrong. And I think that's where a lot of the sympathy and stuff comes for women from each other, because we put ourselves in these women's shoes a lot, but we also feel the frustration and the anger, because when all those red flags pop up, women already know who will be the leaning post if you get an opportunity to be the leaning post, because due to Black femicide, Black women are not making it out of ignoring these red flags anymore. Black women, you aren't making it out of ignoring these red flags anymore. You don't get to live within an inch of your life mentally like you did before. You don't get to live a half of a person because you don't let a man come and suck your soul dry in hopes of love. So you don't get to be a carbon copy out here no more, barely living, barely thriving, because you done had the soul sucked out of you. You don't even get that. Now you are really, really, and literally, not figuratively, but literally getting the soul sucked out of you due to Black femicide. Literally. So ignoring the red flags right now ain't a good look, boo. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So that baton is going forth and back to forth, because you are promoting for the young girl to get her a Tyrone with a lawnmower. A Tyrone with a lawnmower. Two totally different situations. Creating your own reality. And I'm gonna put a link when because I'm about to wrap this up. I got some running around to do. I'm gonna put a link in the community wall of the Darwin theory so everybody can look it over and everything. But the natural selection is literally happening right now, and it's crazy because you see like all of this stuff like ties in together. It's like you see people attempting and grasping at straws to create their own reality. The creation time is current right now. The creative spirits is flowing. People are at their race. They are there. And everybody is attempting to create this reality, this new way of living, coming beneath in a way and far away from the monolith lifestyle. So we are going to start to see more people of different nationalities, cultures, races, kind of like running and escaping what was supposed to be the monolith lifestyle for them due to the Darwin theory to create a new one. To create a new one. Because a lot of people, like I said with Sophia Stewart, have been feeling as if they living in the matrix anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. But I'm telling you, when you see this interracial dating, I actually saw somebody a little while ago talking about it actually kind of tickled me a little bit, but I saw a black woman actually thinking that teaching black women how to marry outside of their race was an untapped market. And I just chuckled to myself because I said, whoa, okay. You think that if you want to, but yeah, interracial dating is cringe right now because it's just people trying to run and jump the gate. So we all get to sit back and see all of the toxicness and that natural selection and how that natural selection is about to turn into complete and utter chaos. Complete and utter chaos. One of the biggest sympathies I have for biracial children is when they have parents who had all these self hatred issues and then brought them into the world. That's one of the biggest sympathies I have for biracial children. But the biracial children that we are about to see come into this world, due to all of these people attempting to run and jump the gate and escape the reality that was created for them, if they aren't socialized enough and civilized enough and planted and rooted enough, it is going to be a sea of brown people with issues. And you think we got self hatred now? Right now, the self hatred is compartmentalized. Once the natural selection bring us all into a pool and we all look just alike, curly haired brown people, who are you going to be pointing the finger at? Blaming. Because see, what keeps, man, listen, what keeps it all under wraps right now is that we are compartmentalized. So you get to point out, you get to say, well, it's that person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's that person's fault. Oh, and it's that person's fault. Hit the like button on your way in. Hit the like. But once we all brown, who you pointing at? Mm-mm-mm. I'm going to put that link in the community wall. This is Woman Sphere. You guys be easy.